Welcome to Cigar, Milk and Book. Reading the Eye of Revelation, and this is part 5, I believe. So, yeah, we're already almost halfway through the book. It's quite small, but the practice is great. We're on chapter 9. It's a quality practice which I highly recommend you try. Try this at home. Go back and watch from the beginning in order so it makes sense, because we are currently on chapter 9, rite number 5. The best way to perform this rite is to place the hands on the floor about 2 feet apart. Then, with the legs stretched out to the rear, with the feet also about 2 feet apart, push the body, and especially the hips, up as far as possible, rising on the toes and hands. At the same time, the head should be brought so far down that the chin comes up against the chest. Next, allow the body to come slowly down to a sagging position. Bring the head up, causing it to be drawn as far back as possible. After a few weeks, that is after you become quite proficient in this movement, let the body drop from its highest position to a point almost but not quite touching the floor. The muscles should be tensed for a moment when the body is at the highest point and again at the lowest point. Before the end of the first week, this particular rite will be one of the easiest ones to perform for the average person. Removed from the 1946 update. Everywhere I go, went on the colonel. Folks, at first, call these rites physical culture exercises. I would like to make it clearly understood that these are not physical culture exercises at all. They are only performed a few times a day. So few times that they could not possibly be of any value as physical culture movements. What the rites actually do is this. They start the 7 vortexes spinning at a normal rate of speed, at the speed which is normal for, say, a young, robust, strong, virile man of 25 years of age. Me. Now, in person, the vortexes are all spinning normally at the same rate of speed. On the other hand, if you could view the 7 vortexes of the average middle-aged man, weak, unhealthy, and semi-virile, as he is, you would notice at once that some of the vortexes had greatly slowed down in their spinning movement, and worse still, all were spinning at a different rate of speed. None of them working together in harmony. The slower ones allowed that part of the body which they govern to deteriorate, and become diseased. The faster ones, spinning at a much greater speed, would have caused nervousness and nerve exhaustion, all of them making the individual anything but a real man, removed from the 1946 update. The only inner difference between youth and virility and old age and senility, honestly haven't heard those words before, is simply the difference in the rate of speed at which the vortexes are spinning. Normalize the different speeds, and the old man becomes a new man again. So judging by that, the vortexes are spinning at their best in a 25-year-old. I'm 25, so if I continue and I practice these consistently as of now, I just will stop aging. I'll just stay me. I'll just stay this age, right? How cool is that? So, position. It's like people call it the upward downward dog or cat or something silly. Rite number 5, the pendulum, is what they call it. First position of rite number 5. The best way to perform this rite is to place the hands on the floor about 2 feet apart, then with the legs stretched out to the rear, with the feet also about 2 feet apart, push the body and especially the hips up as far as possible, rising at the toes and hands. At the same time, the head should be brought so far down that the chin comes up against the chest. I'm actually on break. I've got to run. I ran here, and I've got to run back to work. So it's going to be a brief one today. can finish this chapter, most likely. Next, allow the body to come slowly down to a sagging position. Bring the head up, causing it to be drawn as far back as possible. 1939 and 1946 editions, Introduction. The first position of the rite is to place the hands on the floor about 2 feet apart. And yes, it's repetitive, but this is important. It's a new and improved book combining 2 different years, as you know, because you've been listening, right? Part 1, 2, 3, 4 in succession to make it make sense. I'll figure out how to make playlists soon on my channel. The legs are stretched out to the rear, with the feet also about 2 feet apart. Allow the body to sag, downward from shoulders to toes. Hold the head as far back as is comfortable. The arms are kept perfectly straight at all times in Rite number 5. 1946 edition. New information is in bold. So you would have noticed it sounds quite similar, but there are a few additions. If you buy the book, you'll see for yourself. 12. So throughout the text there's little numbers, and then it links to something afterwards. So I'm just going to read those now. When I began teaching the rites, I experienced with starting this movement in the upside down V position. The plank-like position described above requires more physical strength than most beginners can achieve, and it makes no difference to the benefits of this rite. It should be these rites or this rite. Old English grammar, huh? Which way you begin. Many people prefer this starting position and continue doing as long as they practice the rites. Why don't you try both and see which suits you best? You can always change back once your strength and flexibility increase. Personally, for me, I start in that position. I think I get a lot more curve. Like, I can quite easily touch the floor with my balls or whatever. Pelvis, is a better way to say it. I'm fairly flexible, I guess. I've been doing these yoga practices on and off for years. But people who are possibly double my age or in their 30s or 40s or just haven't really done yoga before, take your time, and it doesn't matter where you start from. For the reasons discussed in Rite number 3, avoid sagging in the lower back. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that, as collapsing compresses your vertebrae and discs. Unless you know how to activate your core muscles correctly while maintaining the length of your spine, it is best to avoid overbending. Try gently firming your buttocks instead to prevent you from hollowing out your lower back too much. In the early stages, some people rest their thighs on a bolster for the same reason. If you want to learn how to identify and engage your core muscles correctly, consider a few Pilates classes, or learn from one of the T5T resources listed at the back of this book. Second position of Rite number 5. After a few weeks, that is after you become quite proficient in this movement, let the body drop from its highest position to a point almost but not quite touching the floor. The muscles should be tensed for a moment when the body is at the highest point, and again at the lowest point. 1939 and 1946 editions, Introduction. Before the end of the first week, this particular rite will be one of the easiest ones to perform for the average person, removed from a 1946 update. The second position is attained by pushing the body, especially the hips, upward as far as possible. The hands are kept flat on the floor at all times. Hold this position for a brief moment and return to first position. After a moment of hanging in suspension, perform the rite over again. 1946 edition. New information is in bold. Note: as you can see, this entire description is new and is Kelder's biggest edit so far. It is also significant in that, once again, he doesn't mention muscle tensing. He merely says, hold this position for a brief moment. Oh, why did he change his mind? It's quite a difference. Are we to tense up or relax? Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, where we talk about wisdom. I smoke cigars, I drink coffee or maybe milk, and I read books of wisdom. Next time we'll do 2 or 3 chapters at once when I've got a bit more time. Peace out. Don't forget to spend some time in nature, read books, seek wisdom, and that a cigar a day keeps the doctor away, and a coffee a day keeps the Tibetans at bay. And you should be drinking about 50% water and 50% milk. Raw milk, preferably. Organic, unhomogenized. It's fucking good for you. Now go have a brilliant fucking day.